What is up, guys? I feel like it's finally time to talk about the Vader fan film. I wanted to throw together a clip of all the shots I'm in, because you obviously can't see me in the film because I'm wearing a costume. So here it is.
None have returned.
Lost troopers do not concern me, Commander. I want that.
Anakin.
So it was a cool experience, you know. I've been trying to break into the film industry for a while, and I'm pretty desensitized to being on set, which is kind of cool because a lot of people have this, you know, first time on set experience when they're just absolutely blown away. I'm a little desensitized to it, so but you know, having and doing production after production after production, it's you know, it's whatever. It's a production, right? It's cool. I'm glad to be there, but I'm also desensitized to it. But doing a Star Wars production is always a fantasy. You know, I always love doing it, and it's not common to do it, especially when it comes to fan films. Obviously, I can't work for Lucasfilm because their doors are, for the most part, closed. But being able to be talent in a Star Wars film, especially one that was this big, was pretty cool. Like, I mean, I got to go to the premiere. I got to take pictures with some people. I got to sign some autographs. Got to hang out and get to experience a premiere at a movie theater, which is also another rare occasion to do because I never thought I'd be doing that in my life, you know. So, but just being able to, you know, especially because everyone on set worked hard, and you know, everybody in pre-production, production, post-production phases obviously all worked hard. So, you know, and seeing this positive outcome is definitely humbling. It's definitely amazing. Thank you. Now, when I usually do talent, I don't feel it feels great to be talent usually, but I'm a behind the scenes guy, so I like being behind the scenes. It is very rare for me to be talent, and typically what gets me these talent gigs is having a Star Wars costume that's fit for that part. About 2 years ago, I did The Purge, Lost Tales of the Empire, which is by Force Storm, which was also cool because everyone kept telling me, at least a few people told me that when you go, I have a clone trooper armor, clone troopers aren't really relevant anymore. You're not going to get any gigs. Typically, stormtroopers get gigs, right? But surprisingly, I've done 2 gigs. I mean, 2 doesn't sound like much, but how often do you even get gigs in the first place? So, like, getting a couple gigs with clone trooper armor is great, you know, especially because a lot of the young people who watch the prequels have grown up and are still fans of Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith, and so on. So it's kind of cool to have these experiences. Now, when it comes to, I was thinking about doing a play-by-play of the Vader film later down the line, probably the next video. I don't know of what my experiences were. I just kind of wanted to do a quick shot by shot of like where I'm at, because I'm just kind of all over the place in this film, because I think there was about 6 clone troopers, I believe, and we had somebody in stormtrooper armor, which was, you know, just basically just his leg, or just different shots of his armor pieces, not his full body, so you wouldn't know it's a stormtrooper, which is kind of cool. Movie magic, go figure. But one of the coolest things is the use of practical effects. You know, when I first stepped in, the room was fogged up. Those lights were flashing because those lights are also practical effects. Like the laser lights, when you blaster fire causes light to illuminate. But the lights are practical effects. They're these lights that are up on top, strobing the whole time, and being fogged up, strobed with Vader up top, you know, and through my, you know, my thin visor of my clone trooper armor was a really cool sight to see in person. I got to experience that in person, which was really cool. The set was really good for the time that they had to make it. Also, like, I wasn't expecting because typically when it comes to a fan film, you try to budget, because we're just, normal. When it comes to fan film, it's like normal people making a film, right? And typically the goal is to spend as little money as possible. Typically, for fan films, especially in Star Wars fan films, you notice that they film in like forests, deserts, just different outdoor terrains that would make them appear to be off-world, but they're not, because obviously. But like, it's cheaper to just do that and like not even get a permit. I mean, most people don't get a permit; they just kind of go and do it. But doing that is virtually costs no money to do. What Star Wars Theory did was try, and pretty much succeeded, at making a full-blown film, 15 minutes long. I mean, it's not to that extent, but spending 150K on a 15-minute film is essentially what a low-budget film is expected to cost, and if you put all 5 episodes together, you're spending well over $1 million on a feature-length film. So it makes sense, on the costs and on the production value. The moment I walked in, I saw that the director of photography had an RE Alexa Mini. And once I saw that, and once I saw that, all the entire production crew was an actual production crew, I assume that this is going to be a very, very well-made film, and a very visually appealing film, especially because an RE Alexa is like the cinema standard, and I think that's what they use for like actual. They use RE Alexa Minis and RE Alexas for Star Wars, and how you can tell that is because I haven't even I did the research. I think in Solo they use the Alexa Mini. Film grain. If you see Star Wars movies have film grain. The new ones have film grain too, and that's because they're using RE Alexas. If they were using a red camera, it would just be a crystal clear 4K image. But if they were using REs, it's still that 4K image, but it has film grain. It has that film cinema look to it, and that's why they could persist on using RE Alexas, and why that's normally the cinema standard for movie making. So yeah, I feel like I'm just kind of documentizing everything rather than talking about my experiences, because that's just how I am, I guess. But yeah, so the film itself, personally, I liked it. There was that whole, there is that whole gap that you want to know what happens between, because like, when episode 3 happens and he's like, oh yeah, your anger killed Padme. It's like, okay, so he doesn't care anymore, and then having this film talk about how, or show how Vader reacted to the Emperor lying about how he can't really bring people back to life makes sense to have this happen. And I remember showing up on set and seeing the Anakin actor and the Padme actress and knowing, oh, you're following like the Vader comics, like this is like fully inspired by the Vader comics, especially because that's like the main thing to talk about, and that's the main thing he talks about in his episodes of Star Wars lore. So now that was really cool. That was really exciting to see that. Kind of curious to see what episode 2, 3, 4, and possibly 5, I think, we'll have in store. A lot of people ask me questions about the next episode and what's to come, and I have no idea. I'm not giving any information. I'm just talent. So, and even if I did have that information, I wouldn't tell you, because it has to be a surprise. That, and I can possibly get sued. I don't even know. But, and if you guys liked what I had to say, please like and subscribe. I feel like I missed some things. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask them in the comments below, and I will make another video answering them. Yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.